Tena Sana. This is Esther, and I have Tari. This is Tari. She'll introduce herself shortly. Yeah, so we are here. We are having a segment which is going to be called The Village Within Us, or yeah,
The Village in Us.
The Village in Us. Yeah, it's going to be all about our life. I come from Kenya. She'll say where she's coming from. And yeah, as I'm a mom and she's a mom, as mothers, we are going to share our experience. We're going to talk about life since we are very, very interested in life in general. We talk, we go deep, and we just want to share all what we have. So, karibu tena sana. And in this short notice, this is going to be our live every Thursday. And I welcome you. Join us. Yes. And now, Tari, it's you.
My name is Tari. Tari is shortcut for Tariro. I come from Zimbabwe. I've been living in Germany now for 11 and a half years. I have 2 kids. Yeah, I'm a survivor and self-taught in many ways. And I believe that we're here to do this. I believe we have so much, not just wisdom, but also to create a platform. The reason why we called it The Village in Us is because for people who grew up in Africa, who came from that community-based, center-based kind of living, we really missed it. I missed it the last 10 years. And then I found my village. So
Yeah.
and we realized how easy life can get if you find your people, if you find the right people. And so we are trying to do the same with our platform and create a village in all of us. Because life is hard, awakening is hard if you're going through awakening. But even if you don't even know what I'm talking about with awakening, life in general is hard and we're not made to walk through it alone. And it's absolutely important that we carry each other, that we walk with each other. So yeah, that is why we thought long and hard on what we would call our podcast, and we both decided to call it The Village. The Village in Us. Because my village is now in her and her village is now in me, and we've been growing a lot together and supporting each other, which was always meant to be, but somehow we have lost that. And so we're here to talk about where we went wrong, who we are, where we want to be, where we are headed, and to just enjoy life and to just support each other through life. So anyway, welcome to our podcast, The Village in Us. We will be airing every Thursday, as Esther said. We're still working around the time because, you know, we're both busy working, hustling moms in Europe, in Germany to be precise. So yeah, welcome. If you have any questions, we would love for you to join us, and we can start right in.
Dive in, yeah. So, I think which questions do we start with? Like,
okay, so we are hoping that we can usher in an environment where we can really talk about everything and life in general. And one of our both topics that we're very passionate about, of course, is awakening and living consciously. But we thought that would be like we can table it. So we had questions for you guys, like, do you know who you are? Who are you? Who do you want to be? And who are you becoming? Who do you see yourself becoming? And we're going to try and answer that based on our experiences. Do you want to go first?
Start? No. So who are you?
Who I am? Oh, that's it. That's a long question. So anyway,
feel free.
So I grew up in Zimbabwe in a family of 5 now. It was quite chaotic. So I am mixed. My father was Indian or is Indian, and my mother is Zimbabwean. And I never got to know my dad, and so I had so many identity crises my whole life. Anyway, and then, you know, traveling from Zimbabwe to Europe, and then starting a family, and since I never had like proper parenting, trying to navigate through that yourself, because, you know, there is a part of you that just doesn't want to continue the same cycles, especially with your own children. And So yeah, that has been a journey. So who am I? who outside of all of that? I am a very passionate person. I am very sensitive. It's something I used to be. Something I didn't like about myself, but it's something I'm actually learning to love about myself and learning to really lean into it with temperance, with wisdom and discernment. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I love people. I love to teach and I love to talk. And that is who I am.
That's why we are here.
and I'm a very open person who loves listening, and now I'm just learning to be a person who is open, but I'm also learning that I have to protect my energy and I have to protect myself, especially if you're an empath. You have to learn to do that, learning boundaries and learning to stand in your power fully. For empaths can be quite hard, but you got this. I believe in you. Anyway, who are you?
Who am I? Okay. So I am Esther. I come from Kenya. I am in my 30-something years old. I am a mom. Who I'm becoming? Oh, just I am.
Who are you? Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I come from Kenya. I come from a very, very big family. Yeah, I would say it's going to be. This is going to be interesting because we come from very different backgrounds, different places, different experience. So yeah, in a way, you guys are going to get two different experiences, two voices, but leading in the same direction.
And it's so funny because we are both very different and yet we learn from each other. And this is the thing about the people you meet in your life. They are meant to mirror something back to you.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, you're meant to learn something from them. And I'm learning that now as I go, which also makes you very conscious before you allow people in your energy, before you allow people in your heart. And you know where this saying came from, I believe from the Bible, that guard your heart. And I'm learning to do that slowly because I used to just give it freely. I used to give my energy and my effort and my love freely. And you don't always have to do that. You really need to have discernment. Love is the answer, and love is good. But if it's unprotected, if it's without discernment, it can actually turn back and bite you, which you don't want to go through.
So, Charlie, what is discernment?
Discernment is the wisdom to question. The wisdom to question, is this for me? Do I want it in my life? How can I apply it in my life? How is this going to add to my life? It's not always about what you get, but sometimes it's about what seeds am I planting in my life. Like, for example, right now we are planting seeds into our podcast because we see ourselves.
I like to say it, coin in the soil. Coin in the soil. Coin in the soil.
Coin in the soil, exactly, yes. Because we believe, genau, exactly, German.
Yeah.
We believe that society is changing and we're coming to a place where we need to lean on each other again and learn what that means and learn which people are for me, which people are not, because not everyone is for you, not everyone is gonna like you or agree with you, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. So anyway, and
I think also I coming from a very big family, like we really had to stick to each other, no matter what, good, bad. You have to be there for each other. So, and like Tari said, that is missing mostly here in Europe. It's very easy to be alone or just get isolated. And so the community here is us finding ourselves again.
Finding your people, your tribe.
At least being there for each other. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, as long as we are one. And there is a way we have to find ourselves together.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically where I come from, and that's what I'm trying. And into my awakening, I know more of awakening, like in a not more of light, like right now too much information.
There is so much information out there.
Yeah, like the awakening, of I think just awakening, which is not the modern awakening, like that one of just seeing things how they are.
Our authenticity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the old self dying to get into the new self, and the struggles, actually not being afraid of the struggles, facing the fears, facing the ghosts,
Doing the shadow work.
yeah. So that's all what we are bringing on the table.
Yeah, not just that. I feel like even back home, I don't know how it is in Kenya right now, but we have this tendency to just, first of all, people are terrified of being lonely and loneliness. And so sometimes we find ourselves in wrong company just because we don't want to be by ourselves, or because we are afraid of our shadows. And what I've learned over the years is that when I stop trying to chase things and people that are not meant for me, and I really stay in my alignment, I find my own tribe, people with the same alignment, people with the same thinking, people who resonate with me. And I think even back home, I come from Zimbabwe, it's not the same anymore. And life is hard as it is, and we're busy judging each other and gossiping about each other, instead of doing the opposite, instead of supporting each other. So in the end, you have people now on the outside, because you don't want people talking about you, judging you, or whatever. You find that people are moving further and further away from themselves, and just putting masks to survive, to fit in. So people could say, hey, they're doing great, but really inside you're not. And the whole point of this podcast is to create a safe platform to be seen, to talk about life's complicated twists and turns without any masks on, with pure authenticity. And we're not saying we're figuring it out, but we have noticed that when we sit down and we have our coffee sessions, just the two of us without our kids, or even when our kids are playing around, we learn so much together, things that we can actually use into our own lives, and for the better, for example. And so that is the village in us. We hope you will be joining us more frequently, and we also look forward to hearing from you and learning from you, and making new connections, and finding more of our tribe out there. This is now how people communicate. This is how people get themselves out there. And we are very glad you could join us, for those who are watching us.
Karibu. So who are you becoming?
Who am I becoming? Oh, that's dense. That's really dense. So background. A few months ago, I started going through awakening in November, and I actually had no idea all of this was happening. But I just think that for the first time I was consciously aware of it. But I do believe I've been going through it for years already. There is just a certain way that my life has been guided, and a certain way that I've moved through life, that I cannot deny that it wasn't just my own doing. So who am I becoming? I am becoming a woman who stands in her purpose, a woman who knows who she is, a woman who knows what she wants, and a woman who's conscious, walking through life conscious. This is who I am becoming. I hope I'm becoming.
A woman of power.
Yes. A woman who knows how to stand in her power and not compromise for anything or for anyone. And this is not in a negative way. This is more in a embodiment type of way. It's when you finally learn the lessons, and you're just tired of repeating the same lessons, and you finally learn to stand in your power and to stand in your voice and in your truth, despite what people are going to say or do. This is who I'm becoming.
I'm seeing my friend there.
Unapologetic.
Great topic and great chemistry between you two. Thank you. Thank you, Jessie.
Yeah.
And unapologetic, yeah?
Yes. Because I used to apologize too much, and I used to make way too much excuses for people. And on the other hand, I was actually way harder on myself. So I was loving other people, for me, was way harder than for me to receive love. So now I'm in my healing era, I'm in my peace era, and I'm in my no more boundaries era. No more boundaries, no more self-sabotaging and letting people take from you. I'm in my I know who I am era, and it's awesome. It feels pretty good. And I know awakening is rough, and I know I went through weeks and months of shadow work, but I am grateful for the woman I'm becoming.
We are going to have an extra day just for awakening.
Oh yeah, we have to do that. We have
Just
to do that
awakening,
just
yeah.
to tackle awakening. And
Yeah.
we have uncovered quite a lot. I am excited about that. I think next Thursday we have to.
I think Tari has a book.
Oh yeah.
Tari has a book. Is it still on sale?
Yes, it's on Amazon. Wait, I actually have a copy here.
So we do have a lot. We have a lot to bring here. So you guys better get ready. This train is moving.
So I actually wrote this in when I started going through my awakening. It's called Unfiltered: A Life Without Masks. You will find it on Amazon. It's an easy read, but it's interesting. Just go check it out. If you have any questions, write me, let me know. I'll be happy to hear your view on all of it. But basically, I was writing about my past, where I came from, the things that I had carried, the identities I had carried that I thought was who I was, but they were just survival masks. It wasn't entirely who I was. So I woke up finally at 33 and I had no idea who I was. I thought I knew who I was, but then when I finally sat down in solitude, I actually finally realized, no, I never knew who I was. Those were just identities to survive, and the things, and I needed them to survive the things I needed to.
Do we ever know who we are?
Finally get here. Yeah, I think we do.
We ever get there?
You have a core. You have a core. Like, this is how you know, okay, this is for me, this is not for me. You have like a core foundation of who you think you are and in which direction you're going. This is the whole purpose of your higher self guiding you to stay in alignment. But anyway, we're going.
But that core, then it's out from the social norm. Like, you're a teacher.
Yeah. Okay, there is purpose. Those are two different things. There is purpose. I know I'm a teacher because I love talking and I've learned so much. The things that I've learned, the things that I've gone through in life, I'm now finally accepting. They were not just for me. They were for me to learn all this wisdom for myself, yes, and to cancel all of my generational trauma and curses and to really start a new page, a complete new page for me. But also for the rest of anyone who's willing to listen and who's willing to grow. And this is the thing, this is why we share. This is why we believe in our platform, The Village in Us, because I was suffering alone in silence, probably Esther, and probably you on the other side of the screen, suffering alone in silence. And this is the thing, on the outside, we all look like this and no one has clue. No one has zero clue what we're going through personally. And so I want to create a platform where we don't need to feel like we need to be strong in front of each other anymore. You know, like really back then where a village was me going to my neighbor and saying, hey, I'm really going through a rough time right now. And whether it was just listening, which is good because someone just listening, just make, you're not alone. And, or whether someone's saying, hey, I know you're in this tight sport. Is it okay if I help you in this way or in that way? And the thing is, those are just seeds you're planting, and it's a relationship planting, because today it's me, but maybe tomorrow it's Esther. And we're supporting each other and loving each other. And this is how we grow and learn with each other, because we mirror each other. Iron sharpens iron. So anyway, this is where we're really trying to go back to the village inside of ourselves, and to finding our own people, and to finding our own tribe. Yes.
Ubuntu.
Yes. Yes.
It's called Ubuntu. You call it Ubuntu?
No. Do we have a word for it in Shona? No. We don't really have, like, we have like Manzimai. Manzimai means, you know, when the women used to meet every Thursday from church and they had their thing. But yeah, it's really missing. We need that, because we're all going through life alone, and it's just
women used to meet and then they will do what? They just sing, or
they used to sing and but this is like women from churches, like they used to meet once, I think, in a week in the afternoon. They sang, they prayed together, and they shared their burdens. You know,
that one I know.
This, can you please pray for my son? He's going through 1, 2, 3, and because at home that mother is carrying all of that by herself, but the minute she goes to her group, she unburdens herself. And
Yeah.
there's a power in releasing also, not holding everything, and this power of knowing that I have support. You know,
Yeah.
it's missing right now, and we need it unbedingt.
Yeah, we
Some
need
words
that.
in German cannot be translated to English.
It's unbedingt is necessary.
More like instantly. We need it. What's the word? Let me kick my kids out. Let me kick my kids out.
They are okay. They don't think they are
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, and you know, just to get to a point of reminding people that hey, this life is not just meant to be survived. Like, when was the last time you really just enjoyed life and not just survive and just go from one place to another? And I know life can never be perfect. I don't know what problems you have in your own life. Life can never be perfect. I'm learning that now. I'm learning that life can never be perfect. And if I want to live a life of alignment where I'm not constantly surviving, I have to learn to accept and receive life as is. And whether I wake up today like it's cloudy and raining, it's hard.
Accept it.
Acceptance, exactly. So, what was the last question?
The last question is, who do you want to be?
Who do you want to be? Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
Who I want to be? Who I want to be? At this moment, I just want to be me. This moment, I just want to be me.
But what does that look like for you?
How it looks like a woman who can handle the waves.
Boss lady.
Not necessarily boss lady, but just a woman in still. You know, where there is wave, you just still, like anything, any storm can come and I am just there. That's the kind of woman I want to be. Career-wise, I left that to my kids. They will decide who they want to be. I don't aspire to.
Yeah.
I don't aspire to be something like a big dream, you know, like time for dreaming is
No, it's not.
it's
not.
Yeah, and for me, at the moment, I just want to be the woman I am and be able to push what I can and also be able to push who are behind me, because there is a lot who are behind me.
There's a lot behind this.
Yeah, and I just need to be able to push that. So that's the kind of woman I want to be. I want to be able at 60 to turn around and say, yes, I did it. How I did it? Only me and God knows.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of woman I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, a woman of purpose.
A woman of purpose.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a woman of purpose. I love that.
Yeah, and to have my kids. I just want to see my kids be grown.
No, to raise healthy, happy, successful children. And success doesn't just mean money and education, by the way. To raising kids who really fully understand who they are and who understand the world that they're living in. And not just, you know, the textbook stuff that we've been passed down on, because it's outdated. It's not working for this timeline anymore. Really raising kids who are consciously aware of themselves, the world they're growing on around them, and we're gonna pass the torches to them.
Exactly, yeah.
And that is the whole purpose and the whole point.
They can also be able to keep the light on so that they can pass it.
Yeah. Not just that. They're the builders. Like, we already have dismantled for ourselves in our lives, in our hearts, in our homes, because you know charity established that the society we've been told is not necessarily the only truth. And so we found our own truth, and we are now brave enough to teach it to our children, and we know they're gonna pick up from where we left off. And this is how societies are built, you know. And it might seem like just two mothers raising their kids, but who knows what our kids are gonna go and do and become. And that is, I agree with Esther. I just want them to know who they are and to walk through life knowing who they are.
And actually, for me to be able to be in a place to be excited about the future, like I'm just sitting here. looking at the future, and I'm excited about it. No more fear. So that means
No shame, no
no shame, no
guilt.
nothing. That means, hey, I've come from very, very
Clean
far.
slate. Yeah.
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 So
Anyway, if you were to answer us, if we were to ask you that question, first of all, we need you to think about who are you? Like, can you really answer that question? Because most people cannot really answer who they are. If you ask someone, who are you? They'll be like, yeah, I'm a mom, I'm a dad. This is what I do for work. But no, those are things you do. Those are your roles. But who really are you? Do you really know who you are? So that's homework for you for the next podcast. If you have any questions,
yeah.
fire away.
Put them on the comments, and we will get to them.
Yes.
And also, you will follow Tari on her TikTok.
Oh yeah.
She also has a lot on her TikTok. There's a lot you can learn there.
I just want to be rich. Yeah, me too. We all want to be rich, but
richness is part of it, you know. It's
I used to I used to also just be like, I just want to win the lottery and I'll be happy. But this is the process I've been going through since November of learning myself and going through awakening and dismantling so many systems in my head that were just imposed, that were not true. I'm learning now that richness is me spending the afternoon with my husband and my children and just enjoying ourselves. Because I know what we have built, when money comes, it's just going to be icing on top of the cake. Money is icing on top of the cake. So yes, I want to be rich too.
You want to tell me you can tell that person who is in a ghetto or in a village down there that money is icing on a cake?
Of course not.
For them it's real.
Of course not.
I think money is different from different people, you know.
Yeah.
It gets,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It gets sometimes the only thing you need. In fact, when you have hunger, when you are hungry, you can't think anything else. You have to feed that stomach.
Yeah, I grew up in poverty. Yeah. I understand.
So it gets to a place where money is not necessarily the whole thing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay, first of all, what's your name? Likiti. Nice name. Okay, I understand. Okay, I grew up in Mufakose, Zimbabwe. It's one of the big ghettos in Zimbabwe. As a mixed child in extreme poverty, where I walked barefoot because it was not my choice. Now I walk barefoot to ground myself on poised on choice. But when I was a child, I walked barefoot because there was no shoes. Or sometimes you went for 2-3 days without food because there was just no food. So I understand. But what I'm trying to say is, you can spend your whole life chasing riches, Esther. Get to the top, have all that money, and still be unhappy and unsatisfied. And I did that too. I was like, okay, I was running away from poverty and scarcity mentality because I grew up in it. And because I was so tunnel visioned on chasing it, I missed so many other things that I'm now finally learning. And yes, I want to be rich. I want to be filthy rich in this timeline, and I know it's coming.
Yeah, I want to be rich, but
I just don't want financial rich. So you have to be very careful when you saying your wishes out. It's good. You're being honest with yourself. I want to be rich, but define that. In what ways do you want to be rich? You know, and because if you just say I want money, the universe will be like, okay, we're gonna give you money. But then when you get to the top, you're gonna realize, wait, I also want a wife and kids.
And then you end up doing stuff just because of money. You do things that are out of this world, like robbing people.
No, not just that. You know, money is an energy and a frequency. Okay, so you can chase it all you want and it will be there. But why can't you chase also other things? Like why can't you look deep within you and be like, who am I and what am I talking about?
I think,
riches?
Tari, I think you cannot be able to look inside you if
money will solve 99% of my problems.
Which is true.
It's better to cry in a Rolls Royce than in a bag.
I agree to that too. Even me, I would rather cry on my seat and then I'm stepping out with my heels and I'm good. I would rather do that than just to cry somewhere in a very dark place.
That is something I also finally understood as I was going through my awakening, and I felt like I had to call my money back, not my money back, my power back. This is the thing. I finally had to accept, and I hated this. I hated having that realization that money is power in this world. It is power, and if you don't have it, sadly, and I realized that, okay, for me to call my power back, I need to also call my money back. Because money is power. Money is a frequency. If you have that, you hold a certain position. It's just, life is
When you
easier
have
for
money,
you.
you just cough and everything is there.
You can pay literally for stress. Like,
Yeah.
if I had the money, I would hire someone to clean my house, and I would be saving myself nerves. And I would save all of the energy for my family, for myself, for my
Yeah,
husband.
look what Jesse said.
Money expounds character. We chase money and forget ourselves through money. Makes it. This is what I've been trying to say. Absolutely, I agree with you. I bet richness means different things to different people.
Yeah,
yes.
I also think that.
Yes. But hey, Leaky T, I wish you get filthy rich, and then you come back and you tell us how it is up there, and then maybe we can learn a few things from you.
Me, I think money is power, and it depends with who is touching that money.
Yeah.
If a bad person touches, and it also depends who is a bad person. If another person touches that money, it can create a holocaust around. There is another person who can touch that money and create paradise around. So I think, yeah, money remains to be power. And whoever touches the money determines the kind of power is going to push it out.
And I really believe that, I still believe that the jar, if you take two, I have 2 cups right now. This is Esther's coffee cup, this is mine. And if you were to put sand in mine, fill it up with sand, and then put rocks inside, you can't. But if you were to put here big stones inside first, and then you pour in the sand is just going to trickle in wherever there is space. For me, this is how I see money. Money is something that, of course, you have to be responsible, and you have to be creative, but for me, at least, it's not everything. But I wanted to say, don't worry, we will get happiness when you go to heaven. On this earth, nobody will ever be happy. My friend.
That's why we are sitting here.
Yeah.
We're finding happiness.
Let me tell you something. Okay, I used to be a Christian my whole life. I still believe in God, but I wouldn't say I'm Christian anymore. I'm more than ever, actually, I feel way more connected to God, more than before. But I'm also finally learning that we are currently living in hell. This is hell where we're living in.
We're in hell.
We're in hell. Look at it, it makes sense. Look at all the wars. Sorry. Look at the leaders running this country. Look at all the stuff we've learned about in the last month. And the world has moved on. We found out that the most powerful people in this whole entire world, running this whole entire world, were abusing children. And we talked about it. No one did anything about it. They're still running the world. We found out that they have the power to start wars and create their own narratives, which they did. We talked about it. Nothing was done. And now we've moved on with our lives. So my point I'm going on with this is, we are living in hell, and heaven is inside of you, because that's where God is. God is inside of you, and you're connected to God, and heaven is inside of you. And so if heaven is inside of you, this outside reality is hell. We are living in it. And that's a conversation for next week, which we really want to tackle and dive deep into it, because we've had so many of these conversations until we got to a point where we're like, we need to share this with as many people as possible. Not that we know much, but to learn from other people as well, because iron sharpens iron. So 2 questions we've got into so far. Who are you? Who are you becoming? And the last one was, who do you want to become?
Yeah, who do you want to become?
Did I go?
No, you didn't answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Who do I want to become? I want to become a pillar, not just Tari, but I want to become bigger than just my name and just my life here on earth. I want to become a pillar for as many people as possible, because I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am in my life right now, which is actually pretty awesome and cool for a girl who was born in Harare, Mufakose, from poverty, from crazy stuff that I survived. I wouldn't have survived any of it without kind people. And I also saw and faced the evil side of humanity, so I understand it. But I'm quite aware that it goes both ways. And the choices I make today are the ripple effects of all those people who helped me to get to where I am. I just want to take on the torch and pass it on, whether it be to the next generation, whether it be to another mom or a brother or a sister just going through a hard time, to know that you don't have to go through life alone. As long as I'm there, I might not be able to fix your problems, but you're not alone. And this is why we are creating this platform, because we want people to not feel alone anymore, because it takes a village, and we have found the village in ourselves. And you're welcome to join us in our village. And whatever topics you guys want to talk about, we'll dive deep into them. We're both people who seek coherence a lot, understanding. We seek understanding. So we will chase something until we feel like we've understood it.
And actually, we're even not afraid to deep dive.
Oh yeah.
We dive.
Yeah.
Things that are out of this world, actually. Like, we will just go deep. And we will come out. Either we'll come out with our own goals or our own pearls. We'll just come out. You will see the kind of dive we do.
Money, pride, prison. Yes, I absolutely agree with that, because that's something I also wanted to bring up is if you chase money, it's supposed to be the other way around. You know, you're supposed to, money comes to you and you use it accordingly, and money circulates. It's an energy, so you receive it, you keep on circulating, it keeps on coming back. But if it becomes the only thing that you're chasing and you really turn a vision on it, it will become the other way around. You will become the slave to money, and you will have sleepless nights over money, and it will define who you are. It will define the people you meet, and you might even miss out on some.
But I don't think it's everyone. There are people who still have humility.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
still work with their dignity. They still earn clean money. I think it just depends on how you're making money.
Yeah, but you can still have dignity, and you can still, don't get me wrong, you could still be a nice person. I believe I was a nice person, but because I was chasing money, I missed out on many other things that...
Yeah, but you can still chase money and still be able to put yourself, to ground yourself.
Yes.
Like your aim is to make money to be able to solve a certain problem.
Yeah.
Not to make money in a way that you want to be rich, or you want to buy this car, you want to do this, you want this, you want this. It's just that you get money to be able to solve problems. So
I understand. Yeah. I understand, but Esther, we are consciously aware, but not everyone is consciously aware. Not everyone understands that, okay, it's an energy. And
yeah, but that's how I say people are different. There are people who are really like, they get lost in money finding, and there are people who just get wise in finding money. Yeah. Like I'm sure if you really come from a very, very, very deep place, like if you get money, then you become wise with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you, when you're looking back, you see there's a lot of people who are waiting for you. Like there's no way you can even just misuse that money.
No. This goes back to your heart.
Yeah. Again, it depends with who is touching that money. That's what I'm saying. Money is power, but whoever is touching the money is the one who is going to say where the money is going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't be afraid in making money.
I know. I got afraid at some point because I was like, the Bible says money is the root of all evil. But I actually really believe that it's an energy, and I'm in like I said, I'm in my healing era, or in my peaceful era. I want to be reached that.
Is this true? Like there is a quote of that money is the root of all evil. It's
in
really,
the Bible.
Yeah, it's there.
It says that money is the root of evil, but I guess if you look at it and you try to understand, because most of the stuff in the Bible is like paraphrased and like hidden meanings behind it. But if you really like try to decipher it, it's just basically saying be careful that it's not the only thing that you're going to chase. And when you do have it, be careful that it's not going to control you. You know, you're not gonna be like. That's why this parable of the talents. Like, there's a master who came and he gave his slaves like different money to go and multiply it. One he gave €1 only, let's say. The other one he gave €2. The other one he gave €5. The one he gave €5, when he came back, he had multiplied and made €10. The one he gave €2 and multiplied and made it €4. The one he had given €1 was afraid. It's like, I was afraid to use it because I was afraid to lose it, so I hid it. He went and he buried it so that when he came back, and he actually failed the test, you know, because he let it control him. He let the fear of losing it control him. And this is what I'm trying to portray, that yes, I also want to be rich. I really would like to be rich and not have to go to work and do jobs that I don't like doing.
Yeah, because if you don't have money, then you cannot really afford anything in the world.
Yeah.
We are already conditioned in places that even barter trade is not working. You need that money. So
money is power.
yeah.
But it's also, don't forget, it's a frequency. It goes round and round, and it will come. And I mean, the universe knows what you need, and it will come,
and
when
it
you
flows,
need
yeah.
it. And it flows, exactly. What other questions? So we were done in that. And then, so if you can answer that yourself, who are you? Who are you becoming? And what do you want to become? If you can answer that about yourself, then you're in a good place. But if you can't answer that, then you should really have some alone time to process that. And I think, I believe every adult should be able to answer those questions. And if you cannot, how can you expect yourself to orient through this life, to navigate through this life, not knowing who you are, who you want to become, or what you see yourself becoming? So those are really good questions we thought we would start with. And
yeah. And Tari, what is a village to you?
Ooh, a village. Yeah, authenticity. Like, my whole life I've had people around, but I never felt like I could fully be myself. So a village for me is people I can fully be myself with, and I will get support, I will get understanding, just company, fun, and a village is my family, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've learned as I've grown that you choose your own family. Some, sadly, even people who are the same family you're born into, not all of them can really stay in your life. If you're really honest with yourself and you're living a life with boundaries, not everyone is going to like that. But the beauty in choosing your own family is you will find aligned people, and you don't have to judge each other and gossip about each other, because you're honest with each other already. You laugh at each other already. We laugh at each other so hard sometimes. And there is a beauty in life in that, not going through life holding everything close to your chest. Don't let anyone in, don't let anyone see who you really are, where you really at. It's sad. We get to miss out on so much.
Yeah.
On the joys of life and just community, this richness of community that we know, that we grew up in. And
but you know, my home in Nakuru, they still have that. We still have that community.
That is nice.
Village, yeah.
That is nice. I don't know, I haven't been home in a while, but yeah.
When I see the way, like, if there's something which is happening and the way they will just react, like, just to be there, assume someone has died, the way the whole village will come together and support that one family. Or when someone even is going to do a wedding, or someone is graduating, like, everyone will leave what they are doing just to be there.
Okay, they still do that also in my country.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God. Yeah.
If those small things, details in life, you just find a community which is behind you to support you.
I mean, life is hard, and it has beautiful moments, it has heavy moments, it has humbling moments. It makes a difference when you're going through it with someone else, rather than when you're going through it alone. And for example, like the culture here in Germany, it is quite sad. Like, a neighbor could die, and if they didn't have any family or anyone, not even the neighbors would show up. And I find that to be quite sad, and just we miss out on filling up each other because we're too afraid to open ourselves up. And it's time that we step away from
And
that.
what is the cause of that? If
What
you
do you
look at it, like, why are we so busy closing ourselves?
Yeah, because society has built up roles on who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to look like. You can't be too emotional anymore. You can't even show up at a neighbor's house and be like, I'm just having a very bad day today. I need support. I need to talk. You can't do that anymore. So you keep it all inside. And that's why we have all these mental illnesses, because we don't talk to each other anymore. We all keep it
But
inside.
what is the cause behind that?
What is the cause?
Yeah.
We did it ourselves. The conditioning, I don't know how we got there, but somehow we're here. And now we're realizing, okay, we can go back to doing things the way our ancestors did it. There was nothing wrong with that. It was beautiful. Like I said, I wouldn't have gotten here if it wasn't for the village that was behind me. And this wasn't my family. Some of them were family members, like distant family members, but most of it was strangers I found along the way. And that's how
They helped you here. Up to here.
Also, they didn't entirely help me to get here, but they provided the steps that I needed for the climb. You get it? And some of them are even forgotten, but because I know how badly I needed it. When they came through for me in that moment, I will forever cherish it, and I will try to pass it on. So now if I meet someone and I know I have the power to help them, or it's within my reach, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to do that because it's been done for me before.
And Tari, in your 30-something years, what is your life experience? What have you come out with? What can you say? Leave alone the traumas, the world, that strength that you gathered out. What is that? And what kind of strength are you ready to give it out?
The space, or the space to hold yourself accountable, to reflect, not making excuses for yourself or people around you. And we're here to live. We're here in a human body, but having a spiritual experience. And I believe that 100%. So I've learned that in my whole life experience, that no pain can break you. No matter how bad you think it is in that moment, no pain can break you. Sometimes it takes for you to just take a break and step out of it, because sometimes when everything just seems so crowded and hard, it's hard for you to have clear perspective. So first of all, and this is quite important, no one is coming to save you. You are it. You know exactly what you want out of this life, and only you can go get it. Only you know exactly who you are, where you're going, who you want to become. And so you need to always be in a place of reflection. Is this working for me? Should I keep on putting my effort and energy into this? Do I need to move on into something else? But in order for you to do any of that, I would say that the most vital, critical thing I've learned is you cannot walk through this life not knowing who you are, because you leave so much room for other people's interpretations and narratives. So before you can even go back to all of that, the one and only thing I wish I'd learned earlier is to know who I really am, who I fully am. Love yourself completely, wholly, because charity does begin at home. And for example, if you're looking for a relationship, you're looking to get married, or I don't know, you cannot give what you don't have. You really cannot give what you don't have. And even Jesus says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I never fully understood that. I never had really learned that I really have to love myself. And this season of my life, I learned to love myself, and it was actually painful. How can loving yourself can actually be painful if for 30 years you've been conditioned to self-sacrifice and give to everyone else except yourself. And to the point where even receiving love was hard. And I had something I had to learn to receive. And so anyway, love yourself completely, fully, wholly. Start there. Start there. Because once you love yourself wholly, fully, and completely, so many things will stop showing up in your mind, in your heart.
But when did you realize all this? Like you didn't fully love yourself?
In November, when I started going to restaurant, when I was writing my book, you know, every chapter asked something of me, and I had to be very honest with myself, because I take authenticity very serious, and I do not, you know, this imposter. I had or have imposter syndrome. So I don't have it anymore. Anyway, so if you know you have a certain purpose and you know you're here to teach certain things, you have to learn it yourself first of all, and second, you have to really believe the things you've learned, and so you can pass it on to someone else, because I cannot come and tell you to go do something that I have no idea myself how to do. So I finally learned it. Last year in November, I had a really bad nervous system breakdown. I had been working the last 5 years as a childminder here in Germany. It's actually a very well respected profession, and you earn a really a good salary. Anyway, I got to a point in November where I just felt like I was so done, I couldn't do it anymore. I was so tired. I got so good at functioning and putting on masks that it came so sudden, and I couldn't believe it. Like, so abruptly, I couldn't work anymore, and I was done. And so I started going on a journey within. And as I went through the journey within, I realized I actually had never really loved myself. And when I started really loving myself, even my relationships around me changed. My marriage changed. The way I love my children changed. I am an empath, but now I feel like my empathy has more weight, because I understand how to love myself. I can understand how to love my children, how to love Esther, or whoever is on my path that I'm meant to support. So yeah, you cannot go anywhere if you don't understand that one principle. Love yourself. Really, wholly, fully, completely. Take time for yourself. Do things you really enjoy. And it's nothing always to do with money. If it's taking a walk, go for a walk. If it's allowing yourself to sleep an extra 20 minutes in the morning when you can afford it, do that. Do the things you actually love. Love yourself. And see what goes on from there. See how it goes on from there. Yes, we're in Germany. Space dog. You guys have funny names.
Space dog.
Yeah.
This Escapades show has been here, I think, 4 years or 5 years. It's been a long time.
What do you mean?
The Escapades show, this show. Finally, I'm bringing you something real. You're going to have fun with Tari.
Everything has its own time.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I was nowhere close to being ready to do any of this work. I was still in the pressure cooker.
And Tari, what makes you ready for this journey? You know, this is again a journey.
Yeah, that's a journey in its own.
Yeah.
I guess what makes me ready is that I finally stopped running from myself, and I finally stopped running from my shadows. I finally sat with my pain instead of running from it, instead of medicating it, instead of making excuses for the things that I went through. I stopped running, and I sat with it, and it was very painful, and it was very uncomfortable, but it's something that I had to do, and I would do it all over again, no matter how hard it was, if it meant that I got to the side where I finally knew who I am, and to walk in this world knowing, claiming my place in the world. You know, most of us just walk around not knowing. First of all, we don't fully feel like we belong, and we don't really know how to claim our place. Yes, we're robots. We don't really know how to claim our space in the world, because you're in this world for a reason. And so don't walk around timid, shy. I don't care what your status is. I don't care how much money in your bank account you have. Claim your place in this world. You matter because you're more than money and all this
And I
things
think
society is giving money.
that is what awakening is.
Yeah.
Finding your space in the world.
Yes, claim first. For you to do that, you need to know who you are, and when you know who you are, when you really know who you are, it's gonna be so easy for you to claim your space in the world. In the beginning, it will be a bit shaky because you're integrating it, but there is a part of you that can never give up once you start.
Hi, do you know there's a girl in Kenya? She's called Maribel, something like that. May God rest her soul. She died. When is it? Yesterday or August, and she herself because of the awakening.
Yeah. She couldn't do it anymore. No.
And she was going through a lot of depression. Normally people would call it like someone who has lost their mind in Kenya. But she was more, wherever she used to come on TikTok, she was more of in this space of awakening. Kenyans, they have a space only for woke people. Like there's some kind of awakening that is happening in TikTok. It's so intense.
But this is again where we're saying that you need to be careful. You need temperance. Temperance basically also means, because you know, with awakening you receive the downloads piece by piece. And so before you can, and I learned that not to rush into conclusions until I have the full picture of whatever I'm being taught in that moment. But that is quite sad. And
yeah, and I hear now like she has done it like 3 times, surviving. But yesterday, I think yesterday of August, and she didn't survive.
Oh, that's sad.
And she was so loud on she was always loud on TikTok, like talking on how our woke, you know, like there are things like families they do, which people like our old generation, we didn't really hold our parents accountable for what they did. Now this generation, which is after, I think it's called Gen or something, them, they are so vocal, even when it comes to such like depression. Like I really don't think it's depression, but it's something so demonic that it's so loud in the head.
Yeah.
Very loud.
Yeah.
That
is sad because first of all, if you're going through awakening, you might understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You will get to places where you have to literally, the releasing part, it will feel like you're dying inside. It will really feel like you're dying inside. And this is the thing, if you have no support and you have no one to go and process the stuff with, it can get a lot for your nervous system and for your mind, especially for your mind. And so the whole point for me when I was doing the shadow work was learning to be gracious with myself, learning to give myself the space and the time I needed when I needed it, and learning to be soft on myself, learning to show myself mercy, because it is hard on the mind when you're going through it. And mostly you'll be going through it from both angles. You will be going through things in your own private life, in the physical world, and which you have to hold, and you'll be going through it also mentally a lot, the most. So take care of yourselves. And
yeah, I would even advise anyone who don't have the skill, should even not get close to awakening. In fact, just do the awakening which is in you. You don't need extra other things outside, you know, like, you know, that battle which you just fight alone. I think the battle which someone just fights alone, you don't know what is coming. It's much easier to fight it because you don't know what is coming, rather than the battle you're fighting, you know exactly what is coming. And the kind of awakening is happening now, I feel it's more like you already know what is coming.
yeah.
And that is what is making people, like, it's so intense. I see people crying. They're deep in it. They are crying like they don't know even how they got there.
I've cried so many
myself too. I was in this thing.
I've given up so many times. I've gone so many times. I'm like, don't anymore. Cut. You don't have my permission to.
Yeah. And then another thing, as a survivor of awakening, I would say it's all in the mind. You people, it's called matrix or matrix. It's all in the mind. You have to fight it in the mind. You should not let it win you. This system which is controlling, the one you see, it's being controlled. It's here. It's here. If you don't win it here, so you really need to win it here. And if you're not really, you don't have the strength to hold that kind of information, just stay away from it.
Yeah.
Or if it's the awakening, go to your. That's why the village here, the community, go to people who understand already what is happening. Someone who can hold your hand in that darkness and at least hold you to move to light, rather than depending on a gadget. That even in darkness, you see, people are really losing it in terms of the awakening.
Yeah, which is why I'm really grateful I went through mine at 33, because I felt like I had the maturity now to hold it, and even then it was extremely mentally and physically difficult, because I wasn't just going through it mentally, I was also going through it very physically. But on the other hand,
and then again, this awakening, like, it's more for you to be fully awoke or enlightened. You need to be also to be able to hold that information. You need to be grounded. You need to be able to switch. Spiritual. I had this spirit. Terry, you know that you will explain later. The spiritual part of life and the physical part of life. So you need to be able to hold those. The both of them, you need to hold them. There's no way you can be on one side. If you just become too much into the spirit world, you become into psychosis, you become someone who is mad, or when you rely too much on spirit part. If you go too much on the spirit, the physical part, you become this solid thing that cannot even be moved. So it's really advisable, or it's safe to be able to move
and take breaks also. I guess what Esther's trying to say is it's a lot on the mind. Take breaks, be kind to yourself. And above all, do not. So we're living in a matrix, and of course most of their control has been up here, so that's why you have to do a lot of dismantling old belief systems in your mind. But the thing is, this world hasn't caught up yet. This world is still on its own timeline, even though you might have shifted timelines, because you will do that with every ascension, with every awakening you go through. It's not one big piece of awakening, it's in pieces. It's absolutely important to keep yourself grounded. And how do you keep yourself grounded? Do as much in the physical world as possible. So if you have a job, keep on going to your job and keep on showing up. Keep on showing up for yourself, no matter how difficult it is. If you know you need to be outside in nature, go be outside in nature. If you know you need to reach out to a friend, reach out to a friend. The whole point of it is finally consciously walking aware mentally, physically, of who you are, where you are, and what you need. Especially the last one is absolutely important. What you need and how can you fulfill it for yourself. Can you go to a friend like Esther and I do and drink coffee over it and just be like, dude, I don't understand this, what's your take on that? And be very careful, because there is so much also misinformation on the internet, because not everyone has fully understand what's happening, and it takes a while until you have the full picture of what's really happening, like we both have, and even us we have a basic understanding now, but we will be learning
it's
for a while.
It's a human biology.
yeah But this is where we headed now.
And I'm also believing that awakening has been happening for ages. Just now there's too much information, and this kind of information which we are receiving now, it has been here for years. Yes, there are some people who have been having this awakening even before we knew what awakening was. There are people who are speaking about consciousness even before we understand what consciousness is.
Like if you look at Dolores Cannon, she was in the 60s. I feel sorry for her, because I'm like, man, in the 60s, everyone must have looked at her like, oh, look at this crazy bunch of people. Here we go again.
And for me, when I look at the awakening right now, it's more for me, like, why is it being pulled out right now? It's more of, it's, you know, in this awakening state, you just feel like everything is possible.
No, not just that. I think, I mean, if you go all the way back, go all the way back to the medieval centuries where women were being burned on stakes for just being a healer. But we're basically doing now what we've done on the stake for it.
Yeah.
I believe that our ancestors have done a lot of work in dismantling already so much of the systems. Just the fact that we can sit here and talk about awakening openly with the whole world, that we've come such a long way, and that's why I believe that we are shifting, and they made it possible for us to be here, which is why we have to pick up the torch and keep on going, so that when our kids get to their stage, they would know already what's going on. Right now, we were like just thrown in the deep end and just trying to swim.
Like, for me, the interesting part of awakening is the ancestral part of
Work
it.
of it,
It's what is interesting.
Do you know how hard it was for me to go back to my mom and be like, you were right? Because when I was a Christian, I'm like,
Yeah.
I tell my mom, dead people are dead, leave them alone.
Yeah.
They're gone, they're long gone. This is bones. This is standing there.
But I had like the kind of information, it's these small lines, the ones you get in awakening ancestral, the informations they get come from these small lines. So yeah, in our bones we have old informations.
No, your whole spirit architecture knows
where we
everything
came
already.
from.
But this is the thing, it's
But for me,
desperately trying to talk to you, but we don't, it's too loud, and we don't make room to hear or to even be consciously aware that you have a higher self in you. We've called it instinct for years, and we've always said trust your instinct. But you trusting your instinct is just you trusting your higher self, because it knows you can only see the outside world. You're limited, but your higher self knows secrets and things that the universe has not even told anyone. And this is the thing, it's limited. We can only know a certain amount of information at a time, depending on how much we can process.
If you would explain the higher self, what is that? Like, what is
the higher self?
Yeah.
Oh man, so this is going back to awakening now, and this is a conversation.
So we leave awakening for its own.
Yeah, because that I have to map out completely, because then once I start talking about it now, then it's gonna be like But we had more questions for you. Like, okay, so what does a village mean for you? Please let us know in the comments what it means for you. What would you like to see in a village? And we would be happy to try and meet those needs. Who raised you? Emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Like,
you answer that first.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm asking them.
Okay.
Like, have you ever thought about how you were raised emotionally, spiritually, or mentally? And if you agree with that, or if there's things you've learned yourself from the way you were growing up, and the things you've taken with you and the things you've left on the side. And then there was, do you think that modern society has lost the idea of community? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sadly.
We live in an individualism.
Yeah. And we're not made to live like this.
Yeah, it's almost getting to Kenya also.
Yeah, even in my country I see it too. Yeah. What kind of village did you grow up in? I want to answer that one. So I had a mixture of people from different walks in life, and it was so beautiful and authentic, and I miss that, and it's what I'm trying to do with this platform. That's what we're trying to do with this, to just create this authenticity and seeing each other as human. Again, not perfect, not all put together, not all figured out, just being. This is the village that I grew up with, and I miss so much. Do you want to answer?
So also, myself too, the village I grew up in is very big, and yeah, we grew up supporting each other. I remember also us every Sunday, like our uncles, aunties, they would meet, and they used to have this contribution, like they will do it, and one person will take the money, and then kids will play around. we grew up with many kids around playing together. It was so
Oneness.
fun.
Yeah.
It was very fun. Like, if at our home we don't have food, I can easily go to my neighbor's house and eat.
Yeah, we used to
You
do
know,
that too.
Yeah. You come home from school, the house is closed, you just go to the neighbor and life continues.
Or even, do you remember on Christmas as kids, we literally had to go from one house to the other.
Yeah.
Eating all the candy, waiting for each other to put
Soda.
on new clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, new clothes. Like, Christmas is coming, new clothes.
Coleslaw,
Yeah, shoes.
fried chicken.
Hair, you make
Yeah.
So I really miss it. Nowadays kids, they just have clothes every day. They don't even have clothes for special occasion. I do have clothes for special occasions.
They go to school in their clothes, so every day is a special occasion. There's no special occasion.
Yeah, not anymore. Like us, we even used to have days just for meat.
Oh,
And you would wait for that day.
Yeah, like Christmas was the day you could eat as a child as much as you wanted and whatever you wanted. And then how I lived it as a child, we used to wait for each other. Like I would be dressed already because I'd be too excited. Then I'll go next and knock on the neighbor kids and be like, and then they'll fast get dressed, and then we get candy from their house, and then we go to the next house. And then we go to the next house.
Yeah.
And then until we're like a small gang looking all polished with Vaseline shining everywhere.
and our parents, they would even really go extra mile. Even those ones who don't have money, they will go extra mile. Like Christmas was even chapatis.
People made sacrifices.
Like to put food on the table, and everyone will just be happy with the
There
little
was
they have.
such an excitement in the air when it came to Christmas, and not just for the kids because of the new clothes, but even for the adults as well. It was just such a beautiful time of community coming together and celebrating.
And family members also coming in.
Yes.
Family gatherings.
I mean, here they do the same with presents and all of that, but it's just presents. I mean, here they do the same with presents and all of that, but it's. And people also visit family, but that neighbor aspect is missing. Also.
Yeah, I also have a feeling here in Germany, like that kind of old life, it's still there, but for them, because they grew up here, they have their aunties, they have their uncles, they have their own kind of family that
they have their own
structure,
community,
that they know, and it's still there. It's us Auslanders who are really finding it difficult. You come from Zimbabwe with your own in your head. I come from Kenya with my own in my head. We meet here, everyone is here with their own head. Before we come together, it's a huge.
It takes a while.
Yeah, you have to work on papers. You have to work on that. It's constantly always working out for something.
Yeah.
That makes you just alone. Like it makes you you cannot function with another person around. So sometimes I understand people who just want to stay alone, because back at home there's
it was
something
simpler.
Which,
it was simpler. It was just effortless.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but I have to say I have a really cool neighbor who lives somewhere close by. Last Christmas, my husband and I were just passing by, and he just hands me a bottle of champagne. And I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. And they also the Germans themselves also sometimes they're good.
Yeah. I guess they
decide to adapt you.
They
adapt you.
They're like, they're okay. They're not that crazy. They're okay.
There's this thing that German. By the way, what about? Are we ever going to touch on racism or such?
Yeah, we will at some point.
At some point.
Another conversation. Yeah.
It's a lot. You see, we have a lot to talk.
I'm just gonna do all of these questions before we leave you guys. So I have a few more questions just for you to ponder on and think on. When did you first realize you needed people? When I went through awakening, and I had people around, but I realized I had the wrong people in my life. I needed people who now just gave back to me instead of me just being the one who's constantly giving. Yeah.
Myself, I've always felt like I always needed people, because I always believed like together we can, and as a whole you will reach faster than just one person.
Yeah.
But it got to a certain place I just had to dismantle all that Like I had to say no, because the more you expect something from someone, you sometimes get met with the disappointments,
Yeah,
and you just find it gets more harder
yeah,
than alone, moving alone.
yeah. If you have the wrong people.
Yeah. So yeah, right now where I am standing is just I would believe I would like to believe I have at least some good people around.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There are few,
Yeah.
but there are people who I can turn to. If I have a problem, I'll just call and say here, there, and I know I'm okay.
Yeah. What wounds are created when people grow up without a village?
Isolation.
Yeah. And mistrust or distrust,
trust, yeah.
not knowing how to let other people in. I guess it also it stops you from
Fear
growing your heart. Yeah.
and fear.
Yeah. Fear, yes, because then you don't know how to trust people, you don't know how to let people in, and this is the thing, when you don't know how to open your heart, not just to people, you also don't know how to open your heart to life itself. So people around you, good people around you, a good village around you would teach you to open your heart to life, because you learn I can trust people. And of course you cannot trust everyone, and that's where you have to use discernment. But I guess without a village, there's a lot of distrust and fear, and just everyone now standing on their own corner, and just that's where we are actually. This distrust and loneliness, and everyone struggling to carry their own stuff by themselves. Where some things you have to carry by yourselves, but some things you need help. Everyone needs help. Everyone needs support. And I guess that's where we are, and that's what's really missing right now in this society.
I also feel like we're missing leaders, like honest leaders, like even mentors. Right now, there's no one you can just look
but
and
we're
say.
here now.
Yeah. But like us, for us, who is our mentor?
We're mentoring each other now.
No, I mean like the one who we are looking up to.
No, we're looking up to each other now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Direction is here now. So yeah, but for other kids, like I think me when I was young, there was a lot of mentors. Like you would look at TV, you say, I would like to be like that person. I would like to be. There were even women who like they would just speak, and they hold
the way they held their energy. Yes, they were also
Yeah, right now I feel there's a shortage of leaders, mentors. As in this, that just perspective of looking ahead, and despite all your problems, you know that is the goal. And if you know the goal is that, then whatever comes around is just a challenge.
I absolutely agree with that. I had so many people I looked up to, for example, not just like the famous people, but mothers in my community whom I saw like, wow, they're such great mothers, and I wish to aspire to be like that one day when I grow up. So I just observed them, the power of observation. I observed how they spoke, how they did everything. And then I took from there what I thought, okay, this I could use. And this,
in a way, it gives strength.
Yeah. And one of my biggest mentors, our people I looked up to, was Maya Angelou. When I heard her story and just her poetry. So the way she expressed her pain, and she turned it from a mess into beauty. And I always resonated and connected with that. Okay. A few more questions and then we close. Okay.
We rise.
How do we heal in community without losing ourselves?
How do we heal in a community?
That's a good one.
First of all, what is define losing ourselves? How do we lose ourselves?
Like if we go back to home, you know how we grew up watching MTV music videos and we grew up watching American and Western movies, and we thought, okay, that is cool, and everything our parents taught us, we were like, this is no longer cool, so we want to be that now. And I guess is again goes back to knowing who we are as a people, seeing ourselves, seeing our worth, and appreciating it. You know, you can still grow and be like that person or that person or that person if that's what you want, but going back to knowing yourself and your community, where you came from, and standing in pride in that, say, and in your heritage, you know. As long as you stand in your heritage and you have a deep respect for it, you can never lose yourself. I mean, even if
Yeah, true.
They can try, or things can come, but you always somehow come back to that core foundation of
The
who you
root.
are, the root. Yeah. Even the way I raise my kids, even though they're half German, I still sometimes go back to the core root of the morals that I learned from my country. The you know, and I think there's a beauty in that, and we don't lose our culture as well, which is drastically happening right now. We've completely lost our culture, and the people without a culture are lost because we came from there. It's a part of who we are, and we carry it forward, and we're still gonna learn so many new things, but that still remains a part of who we are.
Yeah. I still
Sorry, go on.
Still remain a Kenyan.
Yes, like I am still Zimbabwean, and I am still a Mfombi girl. This is who I'll always be.
Which one? For?
Mufakwa, so we call it Mfombi. Mfombi was like the slang word for it. Mfombi. It's like a shortcut. Yeah. What does safe community actually feel like?
A safe community for me is whenever people are there to hold you when you're like you see, like let's say like a mattress, when you're falling, you have something to fall at. So that for me is the safe community. Like you, wherever you are, you just know I have somewhere.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's just
I have people.
Yeah, being able to be yourself and feel held and safe. Exactly.
Yeah, safe. Yeah. Like you can fly as much you want.
Yeah.
But there's people who are there to hold you.
Yeah.
Not like you're flying and then they you see, you know this like there's some aeroplanes like you used to make, and then you will hold it with a
kite.
Rope. Yeah, like a kite. And when you let loose of this rope, it's gone. Yeah. It's gone. So so the community has to be like you do the kite. Yeah. And then they hold you there so that you don't just fly.
Grounding.
You know?
Yeah. Community does. It grounds you because it reminds you who you are. And sometimes you can get lost in our heads. So community is a place where they remind you, like, hey. I think there is even a tribe, I've forgotten where if someone stole something or did something bad, instead of punishing them and gossiping about them, or instead of doing horrible things to them, they would surround that person and remind them of the goodness in them, and remind them of the good deeds that they have done. And I found that to be beautiful, because how can you go back after that and do anything else? And giving each other the room for failure and forgiveness and all of those things. Okay.
Our minds, they will always fly. We will always go. It's like a machine. Like it goes, and there is no stop.
Especially for people like us.
There is no stop. So there is just a way. You need an anchor, and community for me is that. The village for me is that anchor. You are allowed to go where you want to go.
But you know, it's just like when you leave your house in the morning. And you go to your meetings, you go do and shopping, you go do whatever you need to do, you go to your job, but you come back home.
You know,
that's what community is, coming back home to yourself. Okay, should we do 2 last ones?
Okay.
Have you ever had to rebuild your village from scratch? More than once. For me.
Yeah.
More than once.
I've never really left home. I always carry my village with me. Everywhere I go, they're just there.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. That's also a good way of looking. You're all the way in Germany in this huge
you're still there.
Yeah.
Like my family, they're the last people. Like they're just there. I know they're there. Like I can't go under. I can't. They're there. I know even where I go, even if life goes how. It becomes so hard. It becomes, I don't know what. I just know. When I just turn back, I'll still find my people there. And even they in fact, they are the ones who will come and pick me up. If they are being called, hey, Esther is here lying on outside, or is just going crazy, they will be there to pick me up. They will be like, baby, come.
That's beautiful.
So they've never really left. I'm always with them.
That's really beautiful. No, I've had to. My journey has been different. I've had people come in and go so many times, and now that I've gotten used to it, But now I guess I'm also I'm not picky, but I'm very careful with who I allow in my community and in my village now. Because I've learned so many things about myself, so to protect myself and my own boundaries. And now I understand that even though I like certain people, just because I'm not willing to make myself small again
Yeah.
to have a community. Whatever community comes now has to align with where I am. And that way there's just growth and mirroring each other. There's no need to make each other small. There's no need to be afraid to offend anyone, or it's just, I am now looking for like the tribe. Yeah.
For me, where I struggled is like outside, like with friends, like you're trying to make friends family, like you're trying to create something with friends. That's why I really had to struggle. I came out from this cocoon somewhere so inside, and then out here there are people like you don't know where. That's why I had to learn very early, like just leave people where they are.
Yeah, just because you're feeling lonely doesn't mean you should hang around with people you don't agree with. Or people who don't even like you. People who you know for a fact, the minute they leave your house or you leave wherever you're hanging out with, they're gonna go talk about you.
And then everyone nowadays is just wearing masks.
Yes, and
sometimes I think it's for good purpose. I would guess, because not everyone. There are people who are nice.
Yeah.
They are afraid to go out, so they have to wear a mask to be able to cope with outside. But I guess everyone.
But it's really hindering us from connecting again, and we need connection. We were created for connection, and now we're living our lives through screens, sadly, and I really believe that's why we have so many mental sicknesses right now, because of the isolation, the misunderstanding, the confusion, the judgment, it's getting heavier and heavier just to have a normal life now. And
me, I just hope from now on I'm not going to meet like people I have to sit and second guess. What is this person thinking? Where are we going with this person? I don't want that energy anymore.
That's why I'm in a place where I'd rather have one friend, or 2-3 friends whom I know, they know me in and out, and I can be myself around them. There is no judgment. There is no gossip. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so done with all the fake stuff. Then I'd rather just chill with my dog.
Yeah, I would rather also take a dog before I start having cases. You've done this, you've got
And you owe it to yourself to be happy, to find healing. I believe every person has things that they need to heal from. You owe it to yourself to finally live the best version of your life. And for you to do that in this world, you need the right tools, the right people. And you're in charge of your life. Don't just let life happen to you anymore, because it will keep on happening. You need to get to a certain point where you realize, okay, this is my life. And one thing that I've always thought about is on your deathbed. And my mantra was always, I don't want to have any regrets of things I didn't do. Things I should have done, I didn't do. So you have one life to live. And we're going to leave you guys there. And you have one life to live. You owe it yourself to be absolutely happy.
You're not coming back? Reincarnation?
I'm done. No, none of this circus anymore. When I'm gone, I'm gonna be like, okay, I know this light you're talking about. I don't know. I've never been there. But
maybe I'm not coming. Oh
no, I'm. Earth is hard.
If I will come like a dog, okay.
You're just like, okay, I just not the human experience. I cannot be part of the Matrix
those dark moments. Have you ever been in a place you just see darkness?
So you have one life to live. Be absolutely yourself. Find your people, and do not settle for anything less until you find your people. And until then, hey, we'll hold the space for you.
Yeah. And I think now we just came to introduce ourselves. Now you guys know what we will be coming to speak about, or where
Breaking
our,
down everything,
like the path we are taking. And then so next time we will come a little bit more organized with the topics, like what exactly. If you also want that we venture in some topics, you should also write. And we welcome all of you.
Yes.
Join this tribe.
Come join
you
our
see, we
village.
Are fun.
Come join our village and go join your village, and then it will just be the village in us.
Yeah, and we move.
Do you have any advice to give our viewers before we go?
The advice I would say is be you. Be you. At the end of the day, remember to go back to yourself.
Yes.
It's just noise. Just you. Remember you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, thank you so much to our beautiful viewers who joined us. Thank you for interacting with us. Thank you for being part of our village. We are here to stay. We're going to commit to this because it's time to make some noise and to show people that, hey, we can be there for each other. So whatever you need to talk about. Even
maybe we'll talk also about the experience here.
Surviving life and motherhood in Germany with no support, trying to understand the German system. I'm just trying to make it.
Just to get somewhere with ourselves. So that when we turn around in our 70s, we say, yes, we did it.
Exactly. When you finally, I lived and I did it all. And
that is my goal. Yes, I did it. I don't want to be at 90 and then I'll just like,
I wish I had done this. I once heard someone say that, most people when they're dying, they don't regret the things they did. Actually, you regret the things that you didn't do. The things that you didn't do, the things you were too afraid to go after, too shy to go after, the things you were too not confident enough to say, to speak for yourself, to find your voice, all of those things.
And by the way, Tari, she's a very good speaker. Wherever you are, I think hosting, she can host. She can become an MC, very good.
Oh yeah.
If you have parties, I don't know what you need an MC.
I'm good at organizing things and events, so if you're in Germany, hit me up. I would love to.
And if you would like just to be listened, call me. I'll just listen. I cannot be able to be on camera and speak that much.
That's where I come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey!
It's matching, It's really matching.
So anyway, stay fresh, stay absolutely yourself and be authentic, be brave to be yourself, and we are just here to remind you who you are. There's someone so beautiful deep inside of you. We believe in you, we love you, and we look forward to doing this next week with you guys. And there will be so many clips from this video as well as we edit and move along. But thank you for having us.
And thank you for joining our first show.
And happy Father's Day to all the fathers in Germany.
Do you also know that today is when Jesus was ascending? He's ascending.
Really?
Yeah. It's called Christ Himmelfahrt. After Easter.
You went really hard.
when I heard that, I was like, okay, this is interesting because it's like synchronizing. It's interesting. It's when Jesus was ascending to.
And the synchronicity of that.
And then it's our first time to do this. So in a way, it's just a blessing.
This is the taking off.
Yeah, we are ascending. We are descending.
No, one of the two. We are sending.
We are sending.
So anyway, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there in Germany. It's Father's Day today. We love you. We honor you. We appreciate you. Shout out to my own husband. He's an amazing dad and a great partner. And to the father of your beautiful children, we love you. And all the men out there, hold your ground and stay steady. We love you. Stay real, stay grounded, stay authentically yourself. And we believe in you. Have a great
Peace
week.
out.
Bye.
Bye.
Here again?
No, there.